Hey everyone, this video originally aired on Steam as part of the Steam Tabletop Festival celebration this past weekend. Asmodee actually sponsored me to make this video for them, so it was aired over there to showcase the campaign mode and the first two missions in the campaign mode so that you could sort of get a general idea of how it plays and how the kind of implementation has been done. So hopefully you might find this interesting and useful. If you missed the video or if you'd like to see some gameplay footage, then this video is great for that. But I thought I would preface this video slightly because it is a little bit odd if you're subscribed to the channel and you're wondering, hang on a minute, why is he talking like this? But it was because originally it was aired on Steam. So hopefully you enjoyed the video and I will catch you on the other side. Thanks. Bye.
So here we are on the main map screen, and we've got our two characters here. We've got our crack hut and we've got our mine thief. I'm just playing solo today and I'm playing two characters, but this game is fully co-op up to 4 players. So you could play 4 people, each controlling a mercenary. You could play 2 people, each controlling 2, 3 controlling 3, 1 with you controlling all 4. That is also possible if you want to play solo with 4 mercenaries. It is a very good co-op game, and the implementation is done very, very well. So I can really recommend it as a cooperative game. But as we go into our characters here, the big changes you'll see if you're coming from the Guildmaster mode is we now have the personal quests, which we have here, which is the Thin Places, which is complete 6 side scenarios for the crack hut. Sorry, I'm blocking that a little bit with my cam today, but that will be better when we get into the scenario, I promise. And we've got unlock the eclipse. You can just about see it there, but the eclipse, that's how we unlock some of the extra classes in the game. If you come from the tabletop version, this should all make a lot of sense to you. Same for the mine thief. We've got Seeker of Zorn, and we unlock the squid face and the or the Cthulhu sort of character by doing that. I almost said the actual character name there. I'm going to try and do no spoilers here for you. We've also got level 1, which is our party level at the top here. We got our reputation. So reputation is to do with the different events and things and how we react to them in the game. If we have positive reputation, then we get some discount at the shops. If we have negative, then we actually have to pay more at the shops. However, you can unlock a class by going all positive or all negative. So you can decide whether or not your party wants to be good or bad. That's completely up to you. You've also got the Gloomhaven wealth level. Now, this is just prosperity. So if you come from tabletop, this is the prosperity system. So what happens here is that as you increase the wealth level of Gloomhaven by gaining prosperity, once that level starts going up, better items get unlocked in the shop. And also the new mercenaries that you bring in can be bought in at a higher level rather than you having to start at level 1 every single time. So that's a brief overview here. We can also go into Gloomhaven town if you like, and here's the map, faithfully recreated from the board game. I'm really impressed by the way that they've done this. It very much feels like the tabletop version of the map to me, which I really like. And we've got all the different places we can go to. We've got the merchant, which we can go to buy things, which will be a pretty good idea. We should pick up a couple of items for our mercenaries. We got 30 gold, which we start with. I think what we'll do is we will start off with some boots. So let's get some boots. Always good for the crack heart. And for our small item, we'll start off with a minor stamina potion. Can't go wrong with a minor stamina potion. For our mine thief, pretty similar, except I think for our mine thief, we're actually going to start off with an invisibility cloak. So we'll pick that up. And we'll also go for a stamina potion because, of course, stamina potions are very, very strong pretty much on any character. So there we go. So now we're fully equipped. Also, while we're in the city, once per sort of visit to the city, we have the opportunity to do a city encounter, which is an event that happens in the town, which usually is good, could not be good, but will give you opportunities to improve your reputation or not improve your reputation if you like, potentially get some gold or XP, potentially even unlock new scenarios, new missions, things like that. Lots of things can come out through this deck, and there's a lot of unique events that can only come up one time in this deck. So definitely worth always resolving a city encounter when you're at the Gloomhaven town. Okay, so you are walking across the silent bridge, headed towards the sleeping lion to get a quick meal, when you see a quattrel standing in front of a small cart laden with plates of food and curious contraptions. Come try the delicacies of the East, the quattrel barks. Food enhanced with science, flavors beyond your wildest imagination. So we can either stop and try the food, or we can continue on our way to a less adventurous meal. Well, I always like just saying yes to everything if I have the opportunity in games, so we're going to stop and try the food and see what happens. Okay, so it cost us 3 gold each. So we decide to indulge in the unknown to see what the Quattrel is offering. He looks very pleased as you approach and instructs you to inhale a tube of vapors. Then take a bite from a bowl full of tiny golden spheres. As the spheres melt in your mouth, the taste mixes with the aroma of the vapors to create a wonderful experience. You pay what you can, but the Quattrel seems solely focused on how much you enjoyed the meal. You have been blessed. Awesome. So we got ourselves a bless there. So let's go back to the world map. So now really we want to crack on with a scenario because that's what we're trying to do today. I'm going to show you a couple of scenarios. So onwards to Black Barrow, which is the first quest in Gloomhaven. Tabletop players will remember this fondly or not so fondly. It's up to you. Quite a tough mission. We're playing on normal difficulty today, so hopefully we should be able to do it first time.
Everyone needs to eat. Whatever your reason for coming to Gloomhaven, out here on the edge of the world, that simple fact is never going to change. A mercenary can't fight on an empty stomach.
So I'm happy to say that the narration in this game is very good, and all of the kind of key story text and narration has been voice acted, and it's very good. One voice actor does everything, and I think it suits the game very, very well.
So when Jexera, a Valrath woman wearing a red cloak and enough gold jewelry to keep you fed for a decade, approaches you in the Sleeping Lion and offers to pay you 10 gold coins to track down a thief and retrieve some stolen goods, well, seems like as good an excuse as any to sober up and start paying off your tab. This thief has taken some important documents, says the red-skinned merchant, her tail whipping about in agitation. I don't care what you do to him. Just bring back what is mine. Based on Jexera's description, it was easy enough to knock around a few alley thugs and get a location of the thieves' hideout. You don't find yourself as a mercenary way out in Gloomhaven without knowing how to crack a few skulls. So your target is
the Black Barrow.
Sounds like a lovely place.
It does indeed. So as we travel to missions, we will always also resolve a road event. So you'll also get a road event. Road events generally have more of an opportunity to be bad as well as good. So city events, generally speaking, are usually pretty good. Road events, not so much. There could also be some bad things happen to you with road events. So not far outside Gloomhaven, you look up to see a large bird flying overhead. Something is odd though. Its movements are jerky and there is smoke billowing out of it. Then you see it plunge into a sudden nosedive and crash to the ground off in the east. You rush to the scene and find a limping, soot-covered Quattrel kicking a giant winged contraption made of leather and metal. Curse this wretched thing, he yells in frustration. I thought I'd worked it out, and then I suddenly lost pressure in the piston chamber. He looks at you. You there, wonderful timing. How may I get this thing back in the air? There is no time to waste. So we can either do whatever the Quattrel says or demand an explanation before you help in any way. Now, we'll try and be nice, I think. Probably would be a good idea to try and be nice and help. But also what happens with the road events is that sometimes, and the city events, depending on who's in your party, you may get different results. So we don't particularly have anybody in our party who is good at this type of thing, about helping him fix something. For example, if we had the Tinkerer, who is also a Quattrel, could maybe have helped here more. You don't know that going in. You're just going to go in blind. So sometimes you might want to make a decision based on who's actually in your party at the time and whether or not you think it's based on their strengths. But to be honest, in this situation here, I think we're just going to try and help them, even if we maybe not very good at that type of thing. Okay, you set the wings and bang out a few dents while the Quattrel repairs his pressure problem. In under an hour, the Quattrel declares the contraption airworthy and jumps in the cockpit. You stand clear and watch in awe as the thing begins flapping wildly, then sputters forward and lifts off the ground. Unfortunately, the flight is short-lived and the second crash is not nearly as forgiving. You find the Quattrel dead on impact, and there's nothing more to do except harvest the machine for valuable parts. Or maybe not so much of the good ending. Maybe that wasn't the good ending, huh? Well, we got 5 gold, so sure, we'll give 3 to our cracker.
Take care of these unfortunates, your target says, backing out of the room. You can vaguely make out his silhouette as he retreats down a hallway and through a door to his left.
Okay.
Well, it's not every day we get people stupid enough to hand deliver their valuables to us. grins one of the larger bandits, unsheathing a rusty blade. We'll be killing you now.
I don't think so.
Joke's on them. If you had any valuables, you probably wouldn't be down here in the first place.
Very true. Okay. So let's see how we deal with this room. So we've got an elite, bandit guard elite. We've got 2 regulars. We definitely want to kind of get stuck in and stop this guy from acting. The elite is the scary one with the shield 1 and the higher attack. So we want to try and stun that guy, I think. So we're going to go over here and attack. I think we're going to have rumbling advance. This is a really good massive boulder potentially. So I think we can get stuck in with rumbling advance and massive boulder on this character too. So let's run over here. Attack them there. Okay, good. So now this guy's stunned up. Won't be able to do anything. Exactly what you want, really. And a little bit of damage there on those guys too. It's a good start. It's a very nice little start for us there. Okay, well, I was kind of lucky with the miss. This strengthener is a little bit scary, so we're going to have to deal with these guys, I think. Try and make sure that we can kill them. So now would probably be a good time to use Frigid Apparition on this guy. And potentially we could use this to heal ourselves up for some damage that we just took. I like the idea of trying to use Dirt Tornado on these guys, but this one shield does make things a little bit tricky. I think we can probably make that work. So if we drop back a little bit. There we go. I'm going to run away a little bit so I don't get hurt. Just in case. We don't want to get hurt. Okay. Move down here. If we use Dirt Tornado, we can hopefully kill this one. That would be great. But at least we're going to do Muddle on both of these guys. So it kind of negates the strength one, really. Oh, we got that Bless. Even better. So that city event paying off already. Well, that was great. That was really good. Okay, so we've actually got a great start to this room. So we need to keep trying to gain experience points on this crack heart, though. Easier said than done. This loot would be nice. But also so with this heal. Well, actually, this heal's probably not going to be usable, so we'll go for that. I want to definitely position myself to do a nice into the night, I think. Kind of hoping that this kills him. Let's get a +1. There we go. Perfect. And now we can go here. And because we're using a loot 1, so loot 1 allows us to pick up treasure. If you don't end your turn on a treasure tile, like on a space with loot, you won't loot it. You also won't loot at the end of the dungeon, even if you clear the dungeon. So you have to actively try to loot in this game. So either by finishing your turn on top of a pile of gold, that will loot everything on the tile at the end of your turn. Or you can play these, which will loot in a radius. So this will loot in a 1 hex radius around us. Excellent. That's a really good start to the scenario. Really, really good start to the scenario. So I think we're going to want to just take a little bit of time out right now. We don't need to do anything crazy. And we will prepare ourselves for the next room, I think. So we'll play backup ammunition, which is a very good card, allowing us to improve our ranged attacks in the next couple of rooms. And we will get ourselves into a nice position. We'll play the Mind's Weakness. Now, this is an augment, which is this character's sort of special trait, is that she has augments. And that gives her some bonuses while she has it active. So this will stay out in front of us and give us an additional +2 attack for the rest of our attacks until we either replace it with another augment or we manually discard it, because sometimes you might want to discard it to play it again at a later date. So, but that gets us 1 XP for just playing that, which is nice. And then we can literally just sit here. Nothing else to do. So I think now is a good opportunity to long rest. Even though we have cards in our hand, now is a good time to long rest, because we're about to open a room. And we don't want to be opening a room and then having to immediately take a turn with no cards in our hand on the Mind Thief. Or just 1 card with the crack card. So we'd have to short rest. So now is a great time to rest. Always good to plan your rests around opening doors. Now we need to get XP, right? Well, Earthen Clock does not get us much XP. It's a bit trickier to get. So let's get rid of that. We definitely want our big XP cards. And in terms of what we can get rid of here, it might be nice to get the rat out at some point. That could be some good XP. I definitely want to keep my loot cards, though. I need to have 5 or more total cards in my hand. Okay. So actually, I don't want any of the kind of burns, do I? Burns are kind of bad. I think I will get rid of Gnawing Horde. Because our battle goal is encouraging us to actually try and preserve cards, and burning cards is not what we want to do. So let's counter to that goal a little bit. Right, so I think we just want to run in here with our boots and see what happens. Same here. I think we can scurry in. Use our Perverse Edge, maybe. Scurry, scurry, scurry. Okay, so they're just shielding and retaliating. That's pretty simple for us to deal with. This is range 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you ever want to check line of sight, you can always hold L, and then it will show you what the line of sight is. So this guy's got line of sight. She's got line of sight of everything in this room, so that's not really a problem. Also, you can hold down tab to see the actual hex grid overlay if you want to. It's sometimes a better way to see some of the visual information in the game, like traps, things like that, or doors. So it's an easy way to see where the doors are. Okay, let's go. I mean, he's going to want to go. The Crackheart's going to want to go here or there, maybe. 1, 2. Actually, probably there. I think I want to push this guy through these traps. We've got 2 traps there, which we're going to have to try and get rid of. So I'm going to put myself in a position to maybe push him through a trap. We'll stun this guy so that he doesn't actually do his shield or retaliate. That's kind of important here. We want to be able to move straight in here. We have got... Opposing Strike is one of those cards that I can never quite line up. I like it, but it's very hard to just line up sometimes. All right. That's good, because now our Crackheart will tank this this enemy here, which is... We definitely want our Crackheart to be tanking because of the 10 health. And she's got more cards. He's got more cards as well than the Mind Thief. Mind Thief doesn't have that many cards. Okay. Need to concentrate on getting some more XP. We've only got 3 so far, and we need to get 13, which is a lot. But we are about to start doing our... Potentially, we're going to be able to start doing our backup ammunition, which would mean things will start to add up quite quickly for us, hopefully. Okay. We'll use Crater there, I think. So we've got Fearsome Blade to push him through a trap. Potentially into the night to go invisible if we miss in some way. if we just get ourselves into trouble. Right, so I think I want to go to here. I will use Crater. Now, because of our backup ammunition, we can now choose 2 targets. So we'll choose these 2. Oh, nice draw. If only the ×2 was over there. We'll skip that push because I don't really want her further away. Make it more difficult for me to get there. All right. Looks like we didn't need the push. Looks like we didn't need the push. Ow. Okay. So here's like the first example of how things can go a little bit wrong in Gloomhaven sometimes. So we knew that that was coming, really. That we were going to get hit by quite a bit. So now we can either die, which I don't think is really what we want to do, or we can burn 1 card, or we can burn 1 card in our hand, or 2 cards in our discard. So let's burn an available card. Let's get rid of Crushing Grasp, because it's a card that doesn't do anything apart from loot for us, which is nice, but doesn't gain us any XP. So it's not a card that we need for our battle goal. This is a way that you can potentially die very, very quickly, is by having to burn a lot of cards. Because you exhaust in this game either through having no life or having no cards. So you can't always take your sweet time about doing stuff. Sometimes you do have to kind of force the issue a little bit to try and speed up and get through a scenario. Okay, I think Heaving Swings probably okay. One, 2, 3. I can actually get there with this, I think. Oh, 16. Oh, no more +1s. Wow. Luckily, that was not as big an attack, but that's still pretty bad. Yep. The 16 initiative really did us there. Alright, revenge. I am trying to go through this a little bit quicker for you guys today because we haven't got much time. So I am trying to go through this scenario in a fairly speedy way to try and show you as much as I can of the game in the hour that we have. So we're in a position where we could probably long rest. I think we probably should. We could move a little bit closer, then long rest. I think I like that because we know we're going to want to be on this hex eventually. So we may as well move there. We can also then just get this loot, which is nice. And in fact, we can even get an XP here by playing our Withering Claw. Change our augment over to that. Now, with these 3 damage traps, we do have some jumps on these characters, which is lucky, because if we didn't have jump, we would have to walk through this ourselves to get to the door. So we do have jump on both of them, so we can try and figure out a way here of jumping over the trap and then trying to get the enemies to follow us back through the traps. So maybe we can get the enemies to trigger them for us. I would say get rid of Rumbling Advance, but the heal is really what we need right now. And also, it's one of our only ways to generate our Earth element reliably. So Heaving Swing is probably one of the weaker cards because we can only get XP if we can hit him into an obstacle. Now, I know there are obstacles in the next room, but I don't know if we'd be able to actually use this. So it's a bit situational. We might not get to do it. All right, let's get rid of Scurry. Okay, well, we know we're going to want to heal ourselves here a little bit, I think. You can also consider maybe going quite late. Yeah, maybe we can try and open the door with the Mind Thief and then Crater and jump in. We want to burn cards for XP. We are really behind that curve. I think that's going to be a very difficult one to do now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that gets us to the door. Oh, I wish we could go even later than this. I really want to play the Mind's Weakness. I really want to play Feedback Loop in the Mind's Weakness, but that's not a good combination of cards right now. I might just play this as an attack 2 top just for the initiative. I really need to open this door.
Kicking through the door, you find yourself face to face with the reason these bandits chose this particular hole to nest in. Animate bones. Unholy abominations of necromantic power.
Uh-oh.
Nothing more to do but
skeletons
lay them to rest, along with the remainder of this troublesome rabble.
All right, we got our first living bones. So living bones can be a bit of a tricky enemy to deal with because they heal. So they can kind of go early and they can heal sometimes, and that can be a bit awkward when you think you're going to kill them and then they just sort of heal up. It can be a little bit frustrating. So gotta be a bit careful. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to go invisible here in the door. Some advanced strategy for you here. Going invisible in the door means that these enemies won't physically have any way of getting, so they won't actually move at all. They'll just basically won't be able to find a path to get to the crag cart because we're in the way. So therefore they will just sit still and do nothing. Now ranged enemies will still be able to try and attack because they could potentially still get them, but melee enemies will not. So these guys will stay put. And that means also these ones will move forward, which will play probably quite nicely into our crag cart for the next couple of turns. What I might do is I might actually get feedback loop back here. Bit strange, but I would really like to go late on a late move next turn, so. Alright, these guys are placing down extra traps. We might have some use for those. Okay. So in we go. In with our crag cart. We'll get some damage. We didn't manage to get the extra damage here, which is a bit of a shame, but we are well behind this now. I don't know whether or not we'll be able to get it. Do we need to get another card back? I don't think so. I think next turn we want to use our Unstable Upheaval and our Forceful Storm. It's my my favorite combo with this character. And we're in a very good position to be able to use it. And I want to go late with you. And potentially just go and do a loot. Because I'm going to have a good opportunity to get some loot here. There's also a chest here in the back corner, which I didn't mention. This chest, definitely something we want to go for. You want to try and pick up chests in the campaign mode. Maybe a little bit more than in the Guildmaster mode of this game. Because the chests are set and they can be traps. It is possible for them to be traps. They could also be gold. They could be an item. They could be even a scenario. So it is really worth picking them up. Okay, so we're going to use the bottom of Forceful Storm to give ourselves +2 attack to all of our melee attacks. This is a melee attack. So we are going to attack for 3, 4, 5. And with this to target 2 hexes away. So now we can get all of them. This could be a very quick scenario if we pull this off. Oh, okay. We're left 1 alive. That's good, because if we had killed all of the enemies, we wouldn't be able to go and get this. So we need to keep this bandit archer alive. That's for sure. This bandit archer must live while we pick up all of the loot. I mean, here's a great spot to go loot. So I'm going to go loot here. And let's find out what's in that chest. Ooh, Arcane Library. So this is another potential scenario that you can find. So this will be a side quest. Very good for our crag cart, I think, who's also got the personal quest for this. So that's awesome. Right, so we just need to be careful here. We need to just make sure that we get our loot. Get our loot and get out. That's the plan. And don't die in the process. It would be nice if we could gain some more experience points. It's going to struggle. We're only on 8. Yeah, we don't really have very many that we can burn. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be getting there with the crack heart. So it was worth a try, but I don't think so. Have 5 or more. Well, we can definitely achieve that nicely here. That was fortunate. Oh, you had to put a trap there. I was going to walk through that this turn. That's another good loot 1 spot there, so... I think I'll leave that for the Mine Thief. We'll just stun her up so she can't interfere with our looting. And we'll keep getting our XP. So now we could long rest if we wanted to. There's no real reason to do that here. So let's just keep doing this. Because we know that we're just trying to get as much XP as possible, or as much gold as possible now. So that's what we're aiming to do. I need to be a little bit careful about burning cards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think we should be okay. Burn 1 more. 2 XP. Loot is a very important resource early in the game. Because the most beneficial thing you can do for your character early on in the game, especially in the campaign mode, is just to get a couple of complementary items. Really helps you out. Just having stuff like boots for movement, and we'll some armor items as well potentially, and some other like damage based items just really makes the game a lot easier for you. So gold is very, very important early game. Very, very important early game. Sure, I don't need that. So now I have to be a little bit careful here. So I have 5 auto cards in your hand and discard. So I will have to get rid of this at this point in time. Which is okay. I don't really mind that too much. So we can go for the win here, I think. Which is what I'm going to try and do. We'll try and win this this round. So hopefully this will kill her. There we go. We'll go for the loot 1. And then I'll make sure that I discard my Mind's Weakness so that it's in my discard pile. So I have 5 or more in my hand and discard. Okay. And then we'll move to here. We'll pick up this loot. And there we go. Black Barrow. Our first scenario finished. Did that nice and cleanly.
With the last bandit dead, you take a moment to catch your breath and steel yourself against the visions of living remains ripping at your flesh.
We did struggle a little bit. You know, we did take a bit of damage on our crack heart, which was...
Your target is not among the dead.
Not ideal, but...
And you shudder to think what horrors still await you in the catacombs below.
All right. So we get a nice little round up here. So we got our perk point with our Mind Thief, which is great, which is what we were trying to do. Crack heart did a lot of damage. In that particular one, loads of damage, actually. That unstable upheaval really was... That's what all of that was. And took a load of damage and healing, too. But Mind Thief, so good at looting. Got loads of XP as well. Also get 6 XP here. Nice. And there is the Arcane Library that we unlocked. Barrow Lair. Very nice. Okay, so this is a linked quest. So when you get linked quest, that means that basically it's the next quest in the story chain. And you have the option to just immediately jump straight back into that mission, go straight on to that next location. Instead of having to go back to Gloomhaven to maybe resolve another road event later on down the line. Generally speaking, I always go back to Gloomhaven. I very rarely use these links. However, maybe if you're playing online and with your friends, it might actually be a bit quicker for you. But you can't actually level your characters up, buy items, or anything like that if you don't go back to Gloomhaven. And also, Gloomhaven is where you can resolve those city events, which I do really think you want to try and resolve as much as possible. So we're going to be going back to Gloomhaven here so that we can spend some of this gold that we got, but also resolve another city event and see what we get. Okay, city encounter. The Sleeping Lion. Sure, there is no better place to get a drink and relax after clearing out some dank dungeon. On this particular occasion, though, you are approached by a heavily scarred Inox. She sits at your table and pushes forward a piece of paper. An interested party would like to hire you to steal a valuable figurine from a residence in the battlements, she says matter-of-factly. The details are on the paper. Meet me in the back alley in 2 days' time after the job is done. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. So we do have a mind thief in our party, and she is pretty good at stealing things. But also, so is the scoundrel. We don't really have a scoundrel in our party. Scoundrel is the best at that kind of thing. So our mind thief may be quite good at this task. So this could be something we can do. Or we could say, you know, she must have the wrong people and that we won't take the job. But I think we should maybe try and take this job because we have the mind thief in our party, probably pretty good at stealing things. And if we're not too worried about trying to be morally good in this particular playthrough, if we're going for like a negative rep playthrough, then sure, we can do whatever we like. So I'm going to accept the mysterious job. We get 10 gold each. Nice. So we were successful. The job proves easy enough with the proper expertise. The plans are simple and you are in and out of the estate easily. Free to meet up with the Inox and claim your payment. So probably because we had the mind thief there, we got a good result of that particular encounter. If we didn't have the mind thief in our party, that might have gone bad. So definitely something to consider if you're with your party comps, and don't necessarily let it shape which characters you should choose to try and get a balance, because I think just play who you like to play, but definitely consider who you have when you come across these, because these are random, so they could come up in any time and in any order. Great. Okay, so let's spend some of that gold that we got then. That was very handy. So I would love to buy some stuff for the crack cart. So for the crack cart, let's go to the merchant. We could do with something in our hands. So one item that I absolutely love, and I don't think we can afford it yet though, is Warhammer, which is a shame, or Eagle Eye Goggles. So both of these items we can't afford yet. Bit of a shame. So I think we will we're actually going to hold on to our cash for a minute with the crack cart. Try and get to 30 to get either Eagle Eye Goggles or to get Warhammer, I think. So let's go to the Mind Thief, though. And she's got 34. That'll give us a good opportunity to maybe buy a Poison Dagger. Poison Dagger could be quite a nice little item for her. We could also try and get maybe something like a leg slot item. Could also try and get a pair of boots. I think I'm going to get the dagger. Let's get the dagger. Get a bit of variety in what we can do. Okay. Great. So now we can go back to the World Magic Kingdom. If we wanted to, we could go and donate at the temple if we wanted to. We do have a little bit of gold, but I am keeping my gold. But this is another way that you can make things a little bit easier for you by adding blesses to your deck, but also increase your devotion, which then increases the Gloomhaven wealth level once you get to a certain number of these. So definitely another easy way, if you have extra gold, to try and get this wealth level up is by donating every single time you come back to the temple. You can only do it once per character per visit to Gloomhaven, but it's definitely another way that you as a team can start to try and increase this wealth level. Okay, well, let's go on to Barrow Lair then, where we've got the Bandit Commander. So we got our first boss mission. So off we go. We'll have to do another road event because we went back to Gloomhaven. Encounter. Walking along the edge of a forest, you begin to hear strange, unfamiliar sounds coming from beyond the trees. You stop and listen closer. There's a rhythm to the sounds, and with that established, you begin to pick out different human voices in the mix. You'd venture to say that the noise vaguely sounds like chanting. Ooh. Could be cultists. Sounds like cultists to me. Head into the forest to investigate the chanting, or keep moving on down the road. No need to get mixed up in whatever is going on. Let's head into the forest. Let's have a little peek. Oh, we lost a perk point. But we did get 5 XP. So you quietly move through the forest towards the noise. Eventually you come upon a clearing where you see a circle of cultists performing some strange ritual. One of them notices you and shouts to the others. The situation devolves into a bloody battle. You are, of course, victorious, but it saps some of your strength. That's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, 5 XP is good, so... Could have been a bit frustrating if you were very close to a perk, though. Okay, so 2 archers to start us off. Then we got this big open room space back here. We're going to have to open this door, though, to find out what that's all about. So let's quickly dispatch these archers without worrying too much. We can move ourselves a little bit further forward here so that we're within range nicely. Because I would like to stun this one. And I think we'll just go and deal with this guy. Get you stunned. And we'll get our Mind's Weakness Augment out nice and early. So all of our melee attacks will be improved from now on. There, and then Opposing Strike. Maybe kill him? Oof. You can see why you'd want to upgrade your perk deck. You know, if we can start drawing positives more often than negatives, you start killing things a lot quicker. Okay. That's why losing those perk points is actually pretty rough at times. Okay, we'll push him and we'll try and heal, I think, here. Move up here. And we need to make sure that we open the door with our crag heart. We make sure we get our battle goal. -2. Hopefully this will kill her. Yeah, there we go. And now we don't even have to move on to that spot. We've got a lazy loot. And we're in the right position to open this door. So that was nice. We did it all in 2 turns. That is ideal. That's kind of like exactly what you're looking for, really. So now I need a good way of moving into this room in a nice aggressive fashion. I want to keep Unstable Upheaval at the ready for when I do need it, which will be soon. Or maybe I'll use backup ammunition. So it does mean I have to go quite late here, but that should be okay, I think. Right. We've got our boots to give us an extra +2 if we need it.
A large crypt littered with coffins.
Ah.
At the back stands your quarry. He fits the description, but there is something previously unnoticed in his eyes. A dark, otherworldly force. Who are you to think you can interrupt the work of the gloom? A dark energy engulfs his hands as he speaks.
Ooh.
I will show you what you are
okay. 20 health for 2 of us. I think we can deal with that, but that is he is pretty big. We are going to have to use our boots here. So he is doing a move 3, attack 3. What this boss does is his special condition is that he will actually open these doors. So one of his special abilities is to go to the next door and open it. So he starts here, then he goes kind of round clockwise. So this is the first door that he will attempt to open, and there are more enemies inside these rooms. So really, we want to try and kill this guy as quick as possible, because that will be the best way to make the scenario shorter and easier for us, if you like. So we're definitely going to attack him as much as possible. Get some damage in there. He is also immune to immobilize, stun, and curse. So that poison dagger that we bought could come in good use here. Get poison up on him. Ooh, that was a good draw. Okay, we are burning cards. I don't mind burning cards too much here, though, because we are kind of trying to aggressively finish this guy off as quick as possible. We're going to go this way because I want to try and deal with this archer next turn, I think. Now, do I have Perverse Edge in my hand? I don't. So that's a card that I definitely want back. So we'll use our stamina potion and we'll get Perverse Edge. I'm going to need it next turn to deal with this archer, because this archer hits for a lot. The archers are very scary in this game. If you don't deal with archers quickly, it will rapidly mount up and cause you an issue. Definitely. So I'm kind of tempted to just do Forceful Storm here. Because I could use a default attack 2 and turn it into an attack 4 with the poison. That's an attack 5 on the boss. I'll take that every day. Summon Living Bones. Okay, that's another one of his specials. Let's go here. And we're going to use the poison dagger. And we'll stun up this archer so that she can't cause us any trouble. Okay, an attack of 5. So sometimes you do want to use the default attack actions. It's actually worked out very well in our favor here. Oh, of course, you could always just miss your attack. That's also something that can happen. And yeah, I should have figured we were due for one of those. Okay, well, we're going to use our stamina potion now. I think we're going to need it. Here comes the skeleton. So we do have to kill all enemies. It's all revealed enemies. So if he doesn't open these doors, then we can finish this nice and quick. But it's going to be tricky now. Ooh, I really would have liked some... I really would have liked Frigid Apparition here. I'm going to short rest because I think I want to get Frigid Apparition on the Mind Thief here. That's a bad loss, but it's not one of our kind of very, very key cards. So we can give that up, I think. Okay, he's finally drawn it. Move to the next door and reveal room. Okay. So that is happening this round. Unless we kill him, of course. But I don't think we're going to be able to. Let's finish this archer off. I don't want to have to deal with her next round, so... Oh, no! I should have attacked the boss. Ouch. Alright, here he goes. Opening doors. So we now got 2 more living corpses we got to deal with. That's okay. I think we'll be okay with that. Oh, Heaving Swing would have been good there, actually. Okay, summoning living rooms. We need to keep dealing with him. That's a bit of a problem. If he keeps summoning things, that's also really tough for us. Really very tough for us. I would say only one room open though now is that's actually pretty good. I'll take only one room at this point in time. Alright, hopefully we can kill him next turn. He's only opened one room. Of course, there might be something good in these rooms. Like, there could be treasure. So, we might, you know, want to actually look into these rooms ourselves. Okay. This is definitely a good time for our unstable upheaval. Like we did in the previous. And I think this is definitely an amazing time for that. So we're gonna do that for sure. It's gonna do some damage to our Mind Thief though, unfortunately. Oh, he's gonna reveal too. Now's a great time to try and kill him. We missed! No! Oh no! I mean, I guess the Mind Thief can have a crack at it. No, we're gonna lose it now. Below rounded up. Okay, so we got 6. We still haven't technically dropped. It's okay. It's all good. Right, this has to kill you. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. Scary. You can see how quite easily this scenario can get out of hand if you don't, if he draws that card in quick succession, like several times in a row, it'll be very hard. But now we just need to finish off these guys and then we got the end of the scenario in the bag. Perfect. I don't want to drop below half health, so I can't... I would love to redraw that, but if I do, then I go below half health, so I lose that... I lose that perk. Oh, I should have done the Perverse Edge first. That was a bit of a slight mistake. Now I'm going to be attacking at disadvantage, which... Yep. Maybe I could have done some damage there. I guess it was still pretty unlikely with the shield 1, but... You gotta try these things. Wow. Okay, an attack 4. I can't really afford to... go close to him. We'll sit here and we'll have to go in next turn. There we go. Okay. It's all about just getting the loot now. That's all we want. Get you dead. Get our XP. And... Sure. Summoned enemies don't drop gold, if anyone was wondering. But if an enemy was summoned, it will not drop gold. So only enemies that are sort of predetermined to be there, if you like, will actually drop gold. Got him. Whew. So actually, even though we got some bad flips, we dealt with that scenario very quickly and efficiently. He only opened one of the doors that he could have possibly opened. Could have also opened another 3 You know, there was 2 enemies in this one. If there's like 2 in there, 2 in there, 2 in there, it could have been a lot harder. So it goes to show you how important like planning is, and sometimes in this, just going after the boss. Even though I played a little bit recklessly by going a little bit kind of aggressive there, I managed to get in before. Because if I had missed one of those attacks right early on, if I didn't manage to get him to that full health, he would have opened this. Then he maybe could have gone over there. It can make things much more trickier for you. So. A good scenario, and I think that worked out very beneficial for us in the end.
Sifting through the carnage left by the battle, you find a cache at the back of the room, containing the scrolls you were hired to collect.
Lovely.
You can't help but rifle through them a bit, but find that the writing upon them is in some unknown archaic language. One thing that does jump out at you, however, is a map of the northern countryside. A bend in the Still River is clearly marked as a point of interest. Contemplating whether you want to find out more about this so-called gloom, you decide that the spot could be a point of interest for you as well.
Sounds like a lead.
But that can be forgotten for the moment. You pack up the papers and head back to Gloomhaven to collect your reward.
Great. There we go. So a pretty efficient scenario for us there, actually. Killed a lot of enemies. So 4 enemies killed by the crack heart, 39 damage done, damage taken. Gold piles. We didn't do so great with the gold. I think we could have maybe done a little bit better. But also we didn't open many of those rooms. So they would have had enemies inside them that would have dropped loot. Or there could have been loot piles just on the floor in there. So by finishing that scenario quickly, we do maybe pass up on some potential loot that we could maybe have got our hands on. But I'm pretty happy with that. It's a difficult scenario, so you're pretty happy to finish it as quick as possible. So,
okay, that was the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider liking and subscribing. It helps me out so much on growing the channel. If you would like to actually watch me play Gloomhaven Live or come chat about Gloomhaven Live, come over to twitch.tv/ManageRequest, where I'm stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So come hang out. Play Gloomhaven, talk Gloomhaven. If you've got any questions, I'm always happy to talk about the game and answer any questions. If not, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you again so much for watching. Bye.
I think still, yeah.
That's the blessing from Jam. That's the blessing from...
Isaac, at this point, can we get your approval to add an additional attack modifier deck for allies in the digital version?